Welcome back to segment 2 of the Battle of Super Angels and Early Stage VCs, aka Battle of the Davids. Today we're going to talk about whether or not super angels are actually a category. Now, I'll start with you, Mr. Super Angel.
Category of one?
Let me start. let me just have my spiel, and then you guys can go apeshit.
Nah,
Angels, when I first moved to Silicon Valley, angels were distinguished for 2 reasons, and wanted for 2 reasons. They were investing their own money,
right,
and there was a certain cred associated with that, versus a venture capitalist.
Yep.
They were putting their own skin in the game. They were typically people who were entrepreneurs who had started companies, so they could really mentor companies through things that, you know, the VC who's a financial investor doesn't really have the operational experience, can't necessarily do. Super angels generally have neither of those 2 things.
David has lots of experience as a lawyer.
No,
sorry,
but that is my point.
point.
You worked at PayPal. Saka worked at Google.
You
guys did not start your own companies.
I used to be a coder. No, I ran my own company in the 90s. I had a small acquisition. I didn't have a big acquisition, so I was sort of a shitty entrepreneur. Shitty coder, shitty entrepreneur, okay marketer, awesome
Point
angel.
being, if you don't have, and you're not taking board seats, you're investing in 500 companies. If the mentorship isn't there, you're still investing other people's money, aren't you just an early stage VC, what an early stage VC was 20 years ago? What are you that's different?
Right, so the term super angel is a bit of a misnomer because I'm not an angel anymore. I used to be an angel. I invested my own money when I left PayPal in 13 companies. I'm now investing on behalf of other people.
So he's now a fallen angel.
I'm a fallen angel. And I guess the other part's super. Well, yeah, I think I'm super. No, but I do have an entrepreneurial background. So, at least for the category I'm interested in, consumer internet, I've been an engineer, I've coded before, I've been an entrepreneur, I've run a company before, I've been a marketer, I've done customer acquisition and marketing. So,
but you admit a lot of the super angels we're talking about haven't been entrepreneurs.
No, actually, I think if you look at most of them, they are. I mean, I think, so Jeff Clavier has been an entrepreneur. Aiden Senkat has worked at Google doing product and biz dev.
Mike Maples was in there.
Mike Maples took 2 companies public, I think, right?
That should be enough.
Naval has certainly been an entrepreneur. Chris Sacca has worked at Google. So, I mean, a combination of people who are entrepreneurs.
I'm not dissing Chris Sacca, but I'm just saying, angels have said in the past VCs who have operational experience are not the same as having started a company. So I'm just saying, if you're going to draw that line in the sand
both
for
of those
VCs,
are better
it's only
than
fair
just
to do it for
financial
angels.
experience, right? So entrepreneurial, operational experience is helpful, and engineering is helpful, and marketing is helpful, and design is helpful, and product is helpful. Financial engineering and in Wall Street investment banking experience,
so this is where
not quite so helpful for early stage companies.
I think, frankly, that's a straw man. Right? I think
that
ultimately
is absolutely not a straw man.
You're a bunch of and I find
David,
this right because when I have to fill out a survey and I have to claim that my profession is financial services, it kills me. Financial
me too.
services. That's not what I do at all. Right now, I haven't been an entrepreneur. I was a lawyer or whatever. But at the end of the day, my involvement with companies is not about financial engineering. It's about helping entrepreneurs build big companies. What do VCs do? We help you hire great people. We help you raise money. We give you perspective about the market. We make introductions across. Those things aren't financial services, right? So yeah, I think there are certainly people in the venture business who view themselves as financial engineers, who are more concerned with the finances of the company than with how to build a big, interesting company. But I think that by and large, they're terrible VCs, right? The good VCs are focused on building exciting technology, helping you grow a company, all of that stuff. And frankly, some of the time
the latter statement is true. The first one is not. Most VCs are not about helping build great technology. None of them have that background for the most part.
Well, it depends
they
what
might
you mean by
be good at building helping, yes. But my point is, most of them don't come from domain expertise in doing engineering or programming. I actually do. Haven't done it for 15 years, but I would not even claim that as my expertise. The thing that I would think that you said is accurate is help build big companies. I agree with you, which is why we do need big VCs and why it's helpful. But early stage investing is not about building big companies. It's about getting product right and getting lots of customers. Building big companies, i.e. balance sheet engineering, hiring large organization, more than 50 people, doing later stage financing, yes, very important things, but building product on engineering side or design side and doing customer acquisition and distribution in internet channels, search, social, mobile, most VCs don't know their ass from a hole in the ground.
You honestly want okay, if I back a company, do you know who I want doing that? The company. I don't want me doing it. I certainly don't want you doing it. I want the company doing it.
You know what? Listen, I did it for 10 or 15 years. I do know what the fuck I'm doing.
That's great, but how many are you working with? How many companies are you working with?
I get network effects because I learned from all those companies.
You weren't a mentor because you had too many companies. How much time do you spend with your companies?
So let's talk about that because I'm actually putting together an incubation program. We're going to have companies in there. I ran that last year for Facebook as the FB Fund Incubator Program. I taught a class at Stanford. I spend a lot of time with my companies. Obviously, if I have a larger number of those companies, I personally can't scale to do all those companies, but my companies can work together.
But so how important is it that you have an expertise in it if that's the case, right? I mean, we literally go out of our way to make sure that we are not providing strategy, we are not providing the focus and expertise because we want to back people who are going to drive that technology, right?
Great, and that's my point, is like domain technology. You invest in like, companies that are building fabs or new chips or a particular algorithm on search engines, great. That's not something you're going to do. Customer acquisition on YouTube, on Facebook, search, paid search or organic search, those are techniques that are used by most of the companies in my portfolio. And the investor does potentially have multiple experiences in those customer acquisition areas that are transferable. And I've done it for 10 years with about 50 different companies. And there are lots of techniques that I understand about those that the individual company building a product may not understand.
I want to get back to the issue of whether or not super angel is a distinguishable category. So basically, a super angel, let me just put it out here and then you guys can go crazy. So super angels are just angels who did well and are basically now early stage VCs. If you continue to do better, because you said what you doing all this doesn't scale, if you continue to have success...
I did not say that. I said I individually don't scale. My fund and my people will scale.
You will want to scale it, which means you become a bigger VC firm, which is the very problem that you're saying a lot of the industry has.
Not necessarily a fund size. Geographically, maybe. Sector, maybe. Yes.
But how are you fundamentally different than what an early stage venture firm looked like 20 years ago?
Early stage venture firms 20 years ago were 5 to 10 person companies. Big VCs these days are 10 to 20 person companies.
And they grew because of success. You're saying you're not going to take more money?
VC firms don't scale. VC firms
I agree with that, but that's not the point.
I'm going to figure out how to make funds scale. And the way that you make that happen is you have small groups of...
investors.
I'm not going to reveal my entire strategy. I know what the fuck I'm doing.
I got it nailed. So here's the thing. It actually is sort of interesting, right? Because I used to describe August as the firm that we invested as the first professional money in a company, right? Mm-hmm. Which 5 years ago was a great description, right? The first professional money into it or whatever, right? Because then angels could put money in, and you didn't have to say have them be mad at you that you had slighted them. But now, because we wouldn't want to, right? But now the first professional money in is often Dave McClure, first round capital, or what when you are investing someone else's money, you're in essence a venture fund. Now, maybe you're focused on a different stage, you're focused on a different sector, but at the end of the day, when it's a fund and you're investing someone else's money, it's venture capital, right? It's not about being angels.
Have you been edged up the stack by these guys? And does that make you mad? Would you rather be the first institutional money in?
No, I just had this conversation with lots of Y Combinator companies. They just had their demo day. They're raising angel money. I had lots of conversations with them where I said, what you're doing is really interesting, and I would love to stay in touch as you build out your business, because when there's some validation around a set of things, I'd love to be the Series A investment in that company, right? That doesn't
or Series B investment.
Well, and that depends on
You're doing is Series A's.
I'm not necessarily calling what I'm doing Series A. I am investing in many YC companies, probably 5, maybe 6. But their rounds are edging up from seed rounds into small A rounds.
So what
you're an investor.
What makes Super Angel a distinct category?
Size of
fund.
Way
you invest?
Size of fund. So probably $10 to $50 million is size of Super Angel fund.
So first round's not a Super Angel anymore.
They're a large Super Angel fund, but maybe they're on the high end of that.
Or maybe they just graduated into the next category because of success.
What about True? What about what about Union Square Ventures?
True, Union Square, and First Round Capital are the 3 most cited, sort of on the edge of Super Angel, small VC, that probably still feel like they act that way. The other characteristics are operational experience, either entrepreneur or domain expertise. So Josh Koppelman was an entrepreneur, created Half. A lot of the true guys. Tony was one of the guys at Yahoo sold
Sphere.
Tony
Before
sold
that,
Sphere.
Odd Post.
The other Tony.
Yeah.
Tony Schneider and
Tony Schneider
and
sold
Tony
a
Conrad.
mail product. Union Square's traditional VC background. I guess they just feel like they're because Fred.
So
blogs.
what makes it a category
Fred blogs.
is feeling.
If you blog, you're a super
So you mean
angel.
I need to blog
You're
more?
actually kind of
I
a super angel because you used to blog a lot more.
Yeah. All right,
Well, and
I'll
his
get back.
success, he became a VC. All right, we've got to wrap this one up. Join us tomorrow for, what is our topic tomorrow? Do super angels really build companies?